G'day weebs, how's it going? Today I'll be reacting to a anime that I got suggested because of my pharmacy background, where it's essentially a isekai pharmacy. So I thought this would be really interesting to look at, to compare and contrast to today's pharmacy practice, see what it gets right, see what it gets wrong, and have a look at it. I probably won't be critiquing it from like an anime viewer, like an English point of view, honestly. It'll mainly be more about kind of the kind of commentary it has on pharmacy practice today and how it's evolved over time. I assume that this is going to have a little bit more, magic in it, because it is an isekai. So there's obviously going to be things that are probably not feasible to do in the real world. But, we'll see how we go. So let's jump straight into it. So this kind of thing still happens in pharmacy in terms of making up medications. So probably the biggest example would be like antibiotic suspensions for like little kids and stuff. So when they can't swallow tablets or capsules, we have to make up, liquid mixtures, which he's got there. Usually it's just like distilled water, or however much distilled water that's on the label, that's on the directions, to make it up to a certain volume and a certain concentration to be able to give to the patient. So yeah, this kind of mixing still happens, definitely. Probably not in that kind of flask or anything like that, but the principle still remains, yeah. Alright. Isekai, gotta believe it. So his pharmacy is literally just medicines. So it's more like an apothecary than like a modern day pharmacy. I think that's what we're going to see, is more kind of 1700s, 1800s sort of pharmacy practice, where he gets a whole bunch of ingredients that are like herbs and things like that and makes them up to a certain concentration. Maybe there's some standardization of products, that kind of thing. For example, probably most famously is something like Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it, things like that, and used to get prescribed. Alcohol used to get prescribed for a whole range of things. So maybe there's some standardization there, but I would be expecting more of a home-tailored pharmacy kind of recipe making, rather than kind of a modern day dispensing of medications to a correct standard, that kind of thing. It's never going to be relaxed. It's never going to be relaxed. There will definitely be down times, but it's never going to be completely relaxed. You always got to be alert when you're dealing with patients, that kind of thing, to make sure that they're getting the right medication and they're taking it the right dose, and you don't mess up. Okay, so if we take a look at the whole store, it definitely does seem to be more of a old style apothecary rather than like a modern day pharmacy. He's definitely got like his concoctions and stuff all laid out at stock. Generally in a modern day pharmacy, all the like prescription medications would be behind the counter, so the public can't access it directly. And all the things that are over the counter are generally front of shop. So things like paracetamol, ibuprofen, like sports tape, maybe some gels, creams, skin care, maybe some diapers, digestion care, like Imodium, that kind of thing. That will all be front of shop, but generally not all of our stock is front of shop, obviously for safety reasons and for legal reasons as well. I wish I had those two as assistants though, that would be really helpful, especially in a shop where it doesn't seem like you can have that many customers in it. To have 3 people working one shop is sometimes that can be a little bit fantasy as well. That potion does not look like it will store very easily. Yeah, so as I was saying, like he's got all the ingredients, like all the herbs and stuff, so more an apothecary style, as I mentioned before. I don't recognize any of them, but then again, my university days are long behind me where I had to study this kind of thing in terms of like history of pharmacy and things like that, so yeah. Okay, that I don't know if I would use a millstone. Millstones generally aren't used because they're not very accurate in making sure that you're actually grinding properly. We generally only use like a mortar and pestle because then we can actually see and we have control over the ingredient inside in the mortar to be able to grind it with the pestle to make sure that all of the ingredient in there is crushed to the adequate size, so it's small enough to be able to be suspended in the syrup or the lotion or the cream or whatever it is that we're trying to make up. But yeah, we still do make up medications. We still make up creams and lotions and syrups and stuff if we need to. Not all of it is, produced in a factory by a drug company. Some of it is made on the spot by the pharmacist if it needs to be compounded, essentially. And there are specialist pharmacies out there called compounding pharmacies where they specially make up tailor-made medications for certain for the patients that need them when the dose is a little bit exotic or the drug's no longer commercially viable, but it's still useful in some cases for a certain condition. So yeah, and we can make it up in a whole variety of kind of drug forms. So it doesn't have to be like a lotion or a syrup. Sometimes we make like troches, which are like another special kind of drug storage form. I'll put like a picture of them so you can see what I'm talking about. Sometimes we make suppositories, which are a little bit harder, a little bit more specialist. And we do definitely make up stuff under aseptic conditions, where you can absolutely not get bacteria. But then again, that will also be in a specialist pharmacy, whether that be a compounding pharmacy that has kind of like a laminar flow hood and an aseptic environment that they can work in, or if it's in like a hospital pharmacy where they have that kind of equipment as well. So you're definitely not going to find that kind of thing in a community pharmacy. But circling back to my main point, yes, we still do make up medications from time to time if we need to, if the prescription calls for it. Variety of characters, very nice. Obviously has to be all cute anime girls, right? I don't think ordinarily I would like watch this. I don't think they would be like interest me very much, but could be interesting. Alright, that potion, I would not sell it in that kind of diamond glass. That looks like it is very likely to break at some point. and very hard to store, quite frankly. There is a reason why most medications come in boxes, because boxes are easy to store and are less likely for the patient to mess up opening. So definitely the way that the drug is stored is something that we have to take account of in terms of how it's going to be effective and the way that the patient is going to be able to use it, whether they're using it by themselves or if it needs to be made up for them by a hospital, that kind of thing. So definitely, yeah, the way that it's packaged is very important as well. He did. He's a marketer. He's a sales rep. Don't listen to him. He's a sales rep. He's just trying to get money. Yeah, get out of my face. This type of interaction doesn't happen anymore in pharmacy, at least in this direction. Sales reps do sometimes go to small community pharmacies in order to get orders, where the drug company will come by and say, hey, do you want to order some product from us to stock in your pharmacy? No one comes to us to look for products that they want to stock in their stores, because they can't, more often than not. So the sales reps do come in from time to time to maybe try and get orders from smaller community pharmacies, or especially now that there's larger banner groups and this sort of negotiation tends to happen at a corporate level. Sales reps may instead be more of like trainers on how to best use the medication, when to recommend the product, that kind of thing. So for things maybe like some drug company decides that they want to make their own generic brand of paracetamol, for instance, they might have sales reps go across the country to try to get pharmacies to stock their particular brand of paracetamol, for whatever reason, maybe that they made it more effective or whatever, and then they will train them on how best to use it, or train the pharmacy staff on how they think that the drug is best used and when to recommend the product. Whether or not we take that into account is a different story. Certainly that training is helpful, considering they have to, or to be taken seriously anyway, they have to provide sources and scientific evidence that it is effective. So yeah, that's generally the kinds of interactions we get in pharmacy when it comes to marketing, that kind of thing. We never really tend to see people come in and say, hey, I think your prescription medication's great. Can I sell it in my supermarket, for example? And it's just not going to happen because legally they can't sell it. So yeah.
今までこの辺りじゃゴミみたいな味のポーションしかなかった。これはカルタの町中のみんなに教えるべきだ。だから頼む。それに実はここだけの話、5人目のガキができちまって。あらあら。うちの家系は火の車なんだ。ああ、それは大変ですよね。うん。いいですよ。ああ、このままだと店を畳む。
Make sure you get a contract, man. Make sure he pays you good money for it. You don't want to be selling your super potions, your super energy potions for nothing, dude. Also from like an ethical point of view, if these energy potions are so good, he should probably not hand them out willy-nilly because he needs to tell people what dosage they need to take, what the side effects are, that kind of thing. Essentially counsel the patient is what we call it, patient counseling, in terms of, you know, what the medication is for, how it's used, what the dosage is, when to take it, and if the condition doesn't get any better using the medication, what to do at that point, whether that be like going back and seeing the doctor, that kind of thing. So this is why generally medicines are only sold at a pharmacy, so that you have that interaction with the pharmacist, whether you like it or not, and they can be sure that you are using it safely and correctly to be able to manage your condition. Then don't sell it though, man. Don't give it to him. If it's too good for his bloody Blackwater Farms, Blackwater General Store, just keep selling it yourself. You'll get more money out of it.
それってまさかいいの？
レイジさん、さっきからいいって言ってますよ。
え、ありがてえ。これで5人目のガキも育てられる。いや、もっと子作りできる。ありがとうレイジ君。
それは良かったです。近い。
早速この
Social distancing, lol.
猛烈ポーションを猛烈に宣伝してくるぜ。猛烈に売りまくるぜ。
ありがとうございました。
Also, when he says about like aggressively promoting it, advertising prescription medications in Australia is illegal. You can advertise over-the-counter medications to a certain extent. There are some that are technically behind the counter, but they're still over the counter. Legislation. I'll just simplify it for you in that kind of sense. But there are those medications generally that are behind the counter, behind the pharmacist, cannot be marketed to the public directly either, unless they've had special permission from the government. This is all in Australian legislation, obviously. In the US, they obviously have advertisements for drugs all the time, for prescription medications as well. So, you know, different places have different laws. Look it up. Make sure you don't contravene any of your nation's laws, that kind of thing. I'm merely only commenting from my perspective, which happens to be Australian. So, yeah. If you can't already tell from the accent.
1本あたり2000リン、25本で5万リンお買い上げいただきました。でも、レイジさん、ちょっとお安くしすぎちゃったんじゃないでしょうか。
いいんだ。アルフさんにはこの店オープンするときお世話になったし、これで少しでも家計が落ち着くといいんだけど。
大丈夫です。レイジさんのポーションは絶対に売れますから。主のポーション美味な味。
ありがとう。
Deliciousness should not be your major, like, concern with the medication. I just want to point that out. It should be that it works is the most important thing, that it actually solves the problem before whether it tastes nice or not.
カルタの街中に猛烈な勢いで広まり。
ポーションなのにゴミの味がしない。超美味。
すげえ美味。
マジ美味。
猛烈美味。
とんでもなく美味。
アルフさんの雑貨店には連日ポーション目当てのお客さんが。
As long as it solves the problem, it's a nice side effect that it tastes good.
一つまでですよ。
And that kind of thing is what I was trying to allude to, is that everyone seems to be taking it. Is it safe for everyone? Does everyone need to take it? If everyone can take it, then that's not necessarily like a medication. You're not really solving a problem. You're just kind of enhancing everyone. Or if everyone is taking it and those people don't have the problem, maybe you're causing more harm than good. And that's not something we want to do either.
あなたやるじゃない。
まあな。
さらにうちの店までも。
はい、お待たせしました。どうも。
お大事に。
ありがとう。また来るね。じゃあね。次の方どうぞ。
はい、うちです。
ママ、疲れた。帰る。
Very common to get a kid who's, you know, had a little bit too much walking around with mum in the shopping center and just wants to go home and, you know, play computer games or whatever. So yeah, I feel you, kid, but not right now, please. Don't throw a tantrum in my pharmacy.
もう少しだからね。
帰る。
すみません、本当に。
いえいえ、待ちくたびれちゃったよね。ごめんね。
So, pro tip for anyone in customer service: wherever you can, don't be sorry. Be grateful instead. Say thanks. Say thanks for waiting, not sorry to keep you waiting. Be grateful, don't be a problem. It's just some words from working retail for 7 years. Be grateful, say thanks for waiting. Can I help you with your problem today? Be a solution, like bring a solutions focused mindset. Don't be a problem. Don't say sorry for waiting. I'm unless like I'm sorry for causing this trouble, blah blah blah. Unless it's really called for, unless it's really necessary. Yeah. Obviously, if you made an error, that kind of thing, obviously you need to be remorseful for it. But for simple things where maybe the customer's waited a long time and that kind of thing, say, thanks for waiting. I'm glad to serve you today. What can I help you with? Don't say, sorry, I made you wait. There's been a long line. It's been a hectic day, because it's not you. You're not the focus. It needs to be the patient. It needs to be the customer. So that's just some retail wisdom, I think. Give her a lolly or something quick. Oh yeah, get the dog in there. Get the wolf. Yeah, that's good. Kids love animals. Something to distract them anyway. Whether it be a lolly or something like that. And by lolly, I mean candy, like chocolate or something, not the anime lolly. Yeah, I wish I had just a dog in the pharmacy that I could let kids play with. That'd be great, but you can't control animals very well, so not a good thing to have in a pharmacy where they could accidentally like eat something that might not be great for them. Okay, yeah, this is what I mean by dosage. Make sure your patients can't just get your medications willy-nilly. Make sure you tell them what dosage they have or whatever it is, because otherwise if they end up overdosing, that's on you. I mean, sort of. There's still, the label, that kind of thing, and the directions, obviously, but you need to make sure that by the time they leave your pharmacy, that they are clear on what the medication is, what it's used for, and how to use it. So you don't end up with a situation where she just drinks like 4 or 5 of them. Just because they taste good doesn't mean you should have heaps of them. Like Monster energy drinks or like Red Bull or something, right? Like you shouldn't have them all the time, because otherwise you end up with heart palpitations. But he doesn't seem all that concerned. He probably should be though. These potions could be like coffee for the effects that they're having. Alertness, general energy. Could be just caffeine. Or maybe like soft drink or something at this point. Doesn't seem to be doing that much harm. I wonder if we're going to see any herbs or things, like maybe they're going to speak of the devil. Togiriso. I think that's the Japanese name for St. John's wort. Let me check. Yeah, it is St. John's wort. So St. John's wort is still used in kind of herbal preparations. It's not frequently recommended because it's not very potent or anything like that. You can look it up for what it used to be used for. I'm certainly not going to advocate anything here because it all matters on a patient-by-patient basis, and this is general advice. So in the past, it was used for a variety of conditions, was found to help some people not so much. So yeah, if you're interested, St. John's Wort is the English name, and it is active. It is definitely an active ingredient, considering that we do have to be careful of some patients that may be using this particular herb, and with it interacting with some of the medications that we now have. So yeah, it still does do something, but again, I would speak to your doctor or pharmacist that you personally know and not a random one from the internet before you go around trying to find St. John's Wort or anything like that.
それは遠切りそうだ。役に立つよ。
And definitely don't go picking random weeds off the curb or anything.
主、これは。
それは甘根。根っこが薬になるんだ。
主、これは。
Armanair does not sound familiar to me, so if someone knows if Armanair is a real thing, let me know. But I don't think it is.
そ
So
っか。ノエラはこういう時本能で動くんだな。そもそも俺がノエラと出会った時は。おい、おい、大丈夫か？狼だったもんな。そういえば、ミナの買い物ってなんだっけ？なんだこりゃ！ケイトの
oh, anime stuff, great.
俺にパンツ買ってこいってか。つうか。
Yeah, this is not something I would watch regularly, I don't think.
やっぱり幽霊もケイトのパンツですね。ですね。
Oh my gosh, anime doesn't change. Man of culture.
ミナのやつ、渡すメモ間違えたみたいでさ。さあ。
戦いの気配、ノエラ、主守る。
おいおい、そんな大げさ。
When faced with people that do not seem to be calm, it is always important to remain calm and to follow procedures and to make sure that you or your staff are not in any danger or anything like that. But we'll see where this ends up going. Sorry. Oh, that's a knife. All right, definitely get out of the way, man. This is not your fight. You should leave. Leave! Get help! Ooh.
どうして逃げるの？
Cause you have a knife, mate.
なんで俺？俺はキリオ・レイジと言いまして、近所の薬屋の店主で。
薬屋。じゃあ、あの噂の錬金術師ってあなた。あなたのせいでジラルになったことしてくれたのよ。
Yeah, you get customers like this from time to time where they blame you for all their problems. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, you shouldn't have to take it. And there are definitely ways of rectifying those issues, but yeah, sometimes people just have a bad day. I've not been at knife point before though. So yeah, different scale when it comes to threats of bodily harm at that point.
それ話せ。
ノエラ、今はこの方を刺激しないでな。ちょっと隠れてないでなんとか言ってくださいよ。フェリスはちょっとおかしいんです。錬金術師さんどうにかしてください。そんな。
私はおかしくない、おかしくない、おかしくない。
You definitely look like it though, lady. But it's not my place to diagnose you. That's not my domain, not my place for diagnosis. That's for a doctor. Oh, did she realize that she's crazy? That's helpful. Ooh. Ooh, also very bad. Has also happened in my pharmacy a couple times. Never a good look. But you try to retain the patient's dignity as much as you can, especially if it escalates to this point.
状況を説明してもらってもいいかな。はい。
There we go. Maintain patient's dignity and confidentiality. Never share it with people that you're not allowed to. Unless, of course, it's an emergency situation and you need to pass it along to medical services or whatever. But even then, yeah, you can't break patient confidentiality. So whatever a patient says, whatever their carer says, patient confidentiality, you can't break that. It's written into law most of the time, but just from like a ethical point of view as well. Maybe she is just crazy. She looks possessive as all hell, man. You should break up with her. Jeez, look at her. She's just not a good person, man. Yeah, that'd be my reaction. My reaction too. Exactly! Why didn't you break up?
俺が別れ話を切り出した時の話聞きたいですか？やめときます。ただあいつのあんな姿を見ると普段は本当に可愛いんですよね。そうみたいですね。ノエラ、本当ごめん。レイジさん、きっとあいつには悪い何かが取り付いているだけなんです。どうかフェリスについてる悪い何かを払ってください。
Yeah, get out of my face. And yeah, that's not my job. I just give out medications, man. I can help with minor problems, but I can't diagnose that kind of thing. That's not for me to say.
本当ですか？ありがとうございます、レイジさん。レイジさん、どうですか？この状態を見た感じ、普通の女の子ですよね。もし可能性があるとすればあれかな。あれ？早速準備するんで、今夜にでもキリオドラッグに来てください。待ってください。帰っちゃうんですか？俺フェリスと二人きりに。自分の彼女でしょ？それはどうにかしてください。
Yeah. At the end of the day, the patient has to take some responsibility for their autonomy and take responsibility for themselves. We can only help them so far. You can bring a horse to water, but we can't force it to drink. So, because the patient at the end of the day needs to be responsible for themselves, when they can be. Yeah. On a very serious note. In reality, yeah, like take her home. I don't want to have to deal with that stuff, dude. She's your girlfriend, not mine. He did mention that they were having trouble sleeping, right? Maybe she's just having a hard time sleeping. But that's a very strong reaction to just not being able to sleep by going around and implying that your boyfriend is a cheater. Yeah, it'd be useful to have a ghost to stack shelves, that kind of thing. From a retail point of view.
あれはどこだったっけなあ。あったあった。
アルジ、さっき取った薬草。
ありがとう。よし、これで揃った。始めよう。
Okay. Very stylized montage way of whoa. Okay, that is not something we. Those are grapes. So yeah, she's just making wine there. That's not part of making medication. We don't do alcohol anymore. Maybe they prescribe alcohol in their world. Who knows? In their isekai or whatever. Maybe. But the boiling thing, there are some steps in here that seem fairly realistic, like boiling stuff, using a mortar and pestle, that kind of thing. Like in the process of creating a suspension. But I don't know about using cleavers to chop up plants or anything like that. Distilled water, yeah. I wish my stuff glowed like that. It would make it seem a lot more powerful.
レイジさんできましたか。おお、でこれどんな薬で？薬というよりはドリンクですね。
Yeah, this guy's a sham. Everything he makes is just a drink. Energy potion, energy drink. It's just monster energy. It's just caffeine and sugar or whatever.
なるほど。これを飲ませればフェリスに取り付いている悪い何かを払えるんですね。いやだから早速戻って彼女に飲ませます。ありがとうございます。寝る前に飲ませてくださいね。
Alright, so if you're going to tell him the dosage, make sure it's before he runs away from your store. You tell it to him inside the store. What it's for, the dosage, like how much he should take, when she should take it, that kind of thing. You don't tell it as he's out the door and actively running away from you. Oh my god. This patient counseling is just off. Is
ノエラ、今日は本当にありがとう。
ノエラ頑張った処方箋私忘れちゃいました。
ああ、明日でいいだろう。
Pharmacists don't write prescriptions, doctors do. So I don't know where that prescription came from if he said he knew what he was going to make. Maybe it was like the formula for whatever he made up for her? Also possible. As a prescription in terms of like how many parts of such and such, how much water, that kind of thing. Maybe that's what they mean, but that would be a very old style type of use of the word prescription.
大変なんだ、レイジさん。お、大変？朝起きたらフェリスが。フェリスさんが？ものすごく落ち着いた顔をして。顔をして。元の可愛いフェリスに戻ってたんですよ。
Medicines take longer than a day to work, more often than not. It doesn't usually take literally 8 hours overnight to work. This is like an antibiotic or something. If there's like literally something wrong in your body, yeah. Usually they take longer. It's usually not that easy to fix, unfortunately.
これどうぞ、処方箋です。
ランデンフラワー茶、神経を鎮めてリラックスさせる効果があり、不安やイライラを軽減。
So getting her a good night's rest can help. Does help in a lot of cases. Like for example, like the flu or a cold or stuff like that. You know, usually it's better just to sleep it off. Maybe take some paracetamol for the symptoms, but in terms of actually solving the issue, usually it's just bed rest, water, maybe some paracetamol for the fever and the muscle aches and pains. But other than that, just make sure you have plenty of rest, that kind of thing. Yeah. And yeah, people do get really irritable when they don't have enough sleep. So, yeah. I mean, I think she's still possessive as all hell, but you know, I'm not the one to judge an anime character for that.
ちゃんと眠れていないとイライラしたり情緒不安定になることがありますから。よかった。悪魔じゃなかったんだ。
Yeah, that's never the answer. A demon is never the answer. What a show off. Don't give me the stuff. Oh yeah, and the money! Give me the money! I like the money.
実は俺この辺の有名な地主のアロンゾ家の息子でさ。おお、金だけはあってさ。受け取っといて。
What a show off.
じゃ、またよろしく。
Well, glad to help you, but you know, you're kind of flashy. That subtitle's pretty good. Fair enough. He was a salaryman beforehand. Again, usually takes longer than that. Like 30 seconds after he drank it.
まさか俺が？
あそこ変なのいる。ウツボフラワー、魔物だけが感じる不快な匂いを
Is he gonna make... What's he gonna do about this?
俺は人間だから感じないのか。
Make a deodorant or something? Or an antiperspirant?
ねえ、痛いのか？
Maybe plant killer?
刺激臭は目に来ることもあるからな。それじゃあ。
Oh, really, dude? If only it was that simple. Oh, and it even is sparkly. And it's like light blue to tell you that it smells nice, because it looks like mint. Yeah, I wish. I wish we had deodorants that were this powerful. Then that would make a lot of complaints a lot easier, but unfortunately not. Not that easy.
そうかな。間
違いなしです。
そこまで言うなら、ミナの言う通り、ボタニカル消臭液はトイレ用消臭剤として大ヒット。猛烈ポーションに次ぐ人気商品となった。
You can get bathroom deodorants though. They are very useful, trust me. Like you can put it in the toilet bowl, like a couple drops. They're usually very concentrated. I think it's chlorine or some other things. I can't remember. But bathroom deodorants are very nice. not like air fresheners. I'm not talking about air fresheners, and I'm talking about in real life. You can get deodorizers, which get rid of like the smells in bathrooms and things like that. It's usually like a couple drops in the toilet bowl, and they're really good actually. But the more like odor neutralizers, they don't make it smell good. They just make it not smell.
Ah, そうじゃ。噂のポーション試してみるかの。ん？
If it's this effective in the elderly, I hope it doesn't cause him a cardiac event.
キリオドラッグ。
本日もご来店いただきまして
ありがとうございました。
Is that it? No, no, we've still got a little bit left, I think.
え、終わったの？あのペースだと半年かかると思ってたのに。
Alright, and then we get the ending. I don't think there's going to be much more after this that I can really comment on. Because it sounds just like a regular anime's ending. Oh, there's a little bit of like organic chemistry going on in the back there, which gives me nightmares from university days, but you know, that's fine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So this is like a quick little reaction to Pharmacy Isekai. I'm a little bit late. I think there's another couple episodes that I'll probably react to. Let me know if you like it by hitting the like button down below and subscribing as well if you want to see more. I do have other videos on the channel that are more kind of Japan related. So if you're looking to maybe go to Comiket, I do have a foreigner's guide to Comiket. I'll link that down below as well. So yeah, let me know. Maybe let me know down in the comments as well, you know, your experiences in pharmacy, whether you think I'm off the mark on anything. And other pharmacists, if you have any perspectives on anything I've said here, you know, let me know on, you know, how you deal with pharmacy practice and that kind of thing. Because patients all around the world can be different, can be the same. So yeah, looking forward to it. But otherwise, I think that ends it for this particular episode. And I will see you in the next one. See you guys.